I mean, Doc could be a dick, or you
live.
know. I know we're live. Doc could be a
this
dick,
is
or
what
he.
we want it from the jump. We
Hey.
can't you know, exactly what you want.
All right, I got it.
What's the music, damn it?
Came here to say who won it from the jump. We came to get exactly what you want. Came here to say that you don't really want it with us. Yeah, we live, you know. We came here to say that you don't really want it with us. Yeah, the sports show.
What is
Hey,
this?
you ain't gonna open it? You ain't gonna open it? Open it. Come on.
Yeah.
Here.
What is good, everybody? Good afternoon and welcome to the newest edition of the Yerrr Sports Show. I forget what episode number this is. There's been so many episodes in our history. Matt, say.
Episode 146.
There we go. Episode 46. The episode where we forget the episode number.
I think I kind of exaggerated a little bit, but welcome everybody to another episode of the Yerrr Sports Show. I am your host, the Queen, Miss Tavia Regina.
Hey, all hail the Queen.
And I'm joined by these two here. Pete,
executive producer. I'm executive producer.
Give it up for Pete, who gave me an extra 10 minutes to get ready. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we have
the DJ academics of our team.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
We have Mr. Miller.
I feel some type of goddamn way.
Yeah. Who is academics even? I know
nobody
cares. He is a bitch.
And Dre is not here again today. So.
On assignment.
So I know I normally moderate in Dre's absence, but I'm going to turn it over to Matt today.
Me?
Yeah.
Hey.
Me?
Yeah, you.
So I'm the moderator. So that means I can't argue with you guys today. That's dope. I'm like that.
You can.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
You can argue.
First things first. I know all the scuttlebutt has been about, this interview that happened on the JJ Redick's podcast with Ben Simmons, and he goes into detail, all right, about his what the hell?
Oh.
How you just gonna pop up like that?
Hey,
big-headed ass, just popping up and shit. So does that mean I moderate now, being that Dre here?
You can still moderate. You're still moderating.
Dre is only here temporarily.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Big Baby, the soul of R&B.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know where he got that name from, but yeah, back to what I was saying. Ben Simmons was on I forgot the name of that. What is it? One Man in the Old some shit of another with JJ Redick's podcast, and he pretty much goes into detail of his time on the Philadelphia 76ers, which he goes in details and says it was an incredible time. He just was going through mental health issues. He didn't get the help that he wanted, and he felt the way that Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers threw him under the bus as far as that, that playoff series with the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young and him passing up the ball. So with that being said, Shaq also had responded to it, and he basically said to the degree of, man the fuck up, everything that you're saying is an excuse.
That's such a toxic narrative that people give, and it's so sad. But go ahead, keep going.
But yeah, pretty much he's being the old man, pretty much gatekeeping. So with that being said, I'm not sure if Pete, have you heard the back and forth between Ben Simmons and what he said on that podcast and what Shaq said?
I mean, I heard a little bit of it. It's the Old Man and Three podcast hosted by JJ Redick. Listen, I don't want to call it gatekeeping what Shaq did, but this is a very common narrative in communities of color, right? Especially when it comes to men in communities of color, right? We are not allowed to show weakness. We are not allowed to be weak of mind or weak of body or this and this and this. And it creates this, we talk about like this culture of patriarchy and toxic masculinity and things like that. And we want to break that down. But then at the same time, we have people like Shaq continuing to put it on a pedestal. right? This idea of toxic masculinity and patriarchal behavior where it's like the man has to be the powerhouse. The man, you're not allowed to have emotions. You're not allowed to feel, right? And this is what causes issues. Like you have so many players in the NBA of Shaq's era and before Shaq's era, like a Dennis Rodman, like a Ron Artest, who have spoken about after they've left the league and as they got older about the struggles that they had with mental health, the struggles they had with body image and all these other things. You know, you think maybe if they thought that seeking mental help and getting help for these issues wasn't going to be something they were ridiculed for, that they would do it. We see this with people in the military as well. There are people in the military who it's literally told to you, if you go and seek mental help, it is a negative mark on you on your career record. And they look at you differently. They look at you as less than. You don't get selected for missions. You don't this, you don't that, right? And so we want these people to keep all this toxicity inside them. And then we wonder why people have negative reactions later. We wonder why people suffer from even worse psychological conditions later, or snap, or have things happen to them or others around them, right? Like it's because of these toxic ideas that we continue to promote. And listen, what Ben Simmons said was that he wanted to get back on the court for the 76ers, even after his original threat to never play for the 76ers again. And he spoke about a time at practice where he was kicked out by Coach Doc Rivers for being, quote, a distraction because Simmons declined several times to substitute in for a drill. And this was right before that he was suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. And he said that he spoke to Doc prior to practice and said, listen, mentally, I'm not ready. Please just understand that. And Doc said, well, I'm going to put you in anyway. You know, and that's a problem.
That's that same mindset that Shaq brought to this argument too.
Right. That's that problem. So suck it up. Suck it up. Rub some dirt in it. Don't cry. Right. Like this is the problem.
And y'all wonder why men grow up and be sociopaths.
Right. Right. That part. And the fact of the matter is, listen, I got a lot of respect for Shaq, and I usually agree with a lot of things that Shaq says, but I can't with this one because at the end of the day, Shaq came out and said, oh, I had to deal with tough things like that. Brother, you never, ever in your career in the NBA had to deal with something like that. Because when you were in Orlando, drafted by Orlando, you were the savior. They handled you with kid gloves. Okay, even though it was a different era, they handled you with kid gloves. Okay, maybe when you were in college, you got run a little hard, but everybody gets run hard in college. By the time you got traded to the Lakers, you were a megastar. And you had Mr. Psychology Today himself, Mr. Probably on psychedelics, Phil Jackson, okay, over there with his like karma and me and the mantra and the meditation. And you didn't have to deal with that. So I'll guarantee you, if you had mental health issues or struggles while you were in LA, Phil Jackson found some receptive and holistic ways to help you through that. Phil Jackson didn't give you the tough love. Well, you got to get in anyway. You got to this and this, that anyway. And if he did, at that point, you had enough star power behind you to say, no, I'm not doing it. Let's not sit here and act like Kobe and Shaq didn't make the decisions on the Lakers. People didn't make decisions for them. They made decisions for
not
other
with
people.
Phil Jackson at the helm. I think with Phil Jackson at the helm, you kind of have to balk a little bit and let him take the reins because of his pedigree. And
yeah, but Shaq said no.
Yeah,
Shaq
but that's
today.
Well, we know that's bullshit because at the end of the day, that team did not get along at all. Let's be real too.
At all.
They didn't appreciate each other until they stopped playing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? But it's a toxic mindset, like Pete, like you're saying, and I really definitely agree with it. I mean, when someone is saying this is why I was always hesitant to jump on the Ben Simmons is a bitch bandwagon. Because if somebody say, look, I'm suffering, my head isn't right. No matter how pedestrian you may feel their problems are, it is not your place to tell somebody that they're not struggling. It's not your place to compare your issues to someone else's issues. Because what may make me stronger may kill you.
Facts.
And that's okay because we're two different people. And like you're saying, it's two different eras, two different generations. And then we wonder why men feel so lonely, feel so isolated, feel so misunderstood because there's this stigma that if you are a man, you're not allowed to feel. You're just only allowed to protect and provide for your own and for yourself. And Ben Simmons, he faced a lot of backlash for not playing. You get what I'm saying? And I know that, especially like Pete said, in communities of color, we learn this. You know what? Life sucks. Get up anyway. Oh, life sucks. Okay, life sucks for me too. What you want me to do about it? I still get up and I still show up. We all fall into that kind of that little unsympathetic type of mindset sometimes. And sometimes we need to pause and take a second that we are all going through our own storms and tribulations and trials. And I feel like Shaq, if you should know better at this time. You know what I'm saying? Like you have kids in this era who may need that type of empathy from you. And he was raised by a military dad.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that, suck it up, toughen up. I get that. And in some ways, we all got to toughen up. You get what I'm saying? But because life is going to tap that ass. And life always wins.
Damn sure does.
Life always wins. It's just you have to be strong enough to it's not about being strong enough. You just have to make it through the day.
Day at a time.
One day at a time. And I don't think it's fair. And I don't think I don't think anybody who's not in his inner circle, who knows his inner workings, should be commenting on his mental health. And I'm not surprised about Joel Embiid's immaturity. That to me has always been the only block from me to Joel Embiid, because I've seen for years immaturity in the face of where he needs to. His on the court leadership ability has improved dramatically over the years, and I'll tip my hat off to that. But off the court, you have to be a leader just as much as the other. And if God forbid his mental health drove him to suicide, then what type of conversation we would be having right now?
That's a fact.
Everybody on the Ben wagons, the Ben Simmons wagon, rest in peace, and mental health, all love, and all that bullshit, man.
I raised you that one thing, and I could say that as far as the Ben Simmons aspect, he got a lot of the blame for that series loss, and not realizing that they lapsed on defense a good portion of that series. They were up a lot of those games, and Atlanta rallied back and pulled out a W in a lot of those games. So, I mean, for Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid just get up there and just say, well, we could have gotten 2 or 3 and we only got 1. So, I mean, that could have been the reason why we lost. I mean, that was like Tavia said, that was not holding yourself accountable. That was you throwing another man under the bus. So, I mean, with that being said, Dre, what you think about the Ben Simmons and Shaq dynamic, man?
So first, I'd like to publicly apologize to Ben Simmons because, for one, I was one of the people, I wasn't completely on the same wave Shaq was, but I was questioning some of his movements because of how he was moving. Like sometimes he like I get it, I understand. A lot of us have mental health issues, but the way it was coming off more as if he just didn't feel like being there for whatever reasons. That is his reasons, and we don't know, and it's not our responsibility to be the people who judge him for it. So first of all, I have to publicly apologize to him. Second of all, Shaq was out of line, and the reason being is the old school mindset doesn't work in the new school, because that's why y'all have so many crazy players back then taking each other's neck off and doing all types of crazy stuff, because they had nobody to speak to about their issues. So instead of speaking about your issues, you take it out on the next person on the court, which is why I believe the eras are so different. People now are saying, oh, this era is soft. No, this era is more conscious of everything that is going on. Yeah. And these players want to play longer. The average NBA career at one point in time was only like 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Now these players are playing longer, and about 20 years into their career. But Shaq went above and beyond, as Shaq does, and Shaq is one of my favorite players ever. But the way he talks about certain players sometimes is too much. Yes, Shaq is in media, but I know his responsibility, quote unquote, is to protect players, but it's also his responsibility is to also not like shit on players. When someone's saying they're going through something, respect it. If that's your LSU brother, hey, I'm with you. I got you. Whatever you need. Like he came off like Skip Bayless came off when Dak Prescott was talking about his mental issues.
And that's what Ben Simmons was saying too. He said like basically like y'all responsibility as former players, y'all are supposed to help us out on a personal aspect. We get that y'all are analysts now, so y'all gotta say y'all comments as far as what's going on in the game, but when it comes down to the personal aspect, have our back. And he's not wrong for feeling that way. It's a brotherhood in all honesty.
Absolutely not wrong. And you're looking for your quote unquote older brothers for guidance and advice, but when they're like, nah, man up and be okay. That's exactly what Tay just said. That's why we have sociopaths. That's why we have all types of crazy men out here doing whatever the hell they're doing because they have nobody to speak to.
Yeah.
And they just want to do bitch ass shit. They're like,
yeah,
and people, like the thing is, you know what I don't like about this? It's like the lack of accountability across different layers of this. Because yes, the NBA is supposed to be a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? But in all essence, no one owes you anything.
Right. You're 100% right. But again, if you can sit there and go, and this is what Shaq said, even though Pete says technically he didn't really have to go through anything, again, everybody's path and everybody's story, they have some similarities, but never 100% the exact same. So whatever affects Ben Simmons will not affect Shaq to that degree. Whatever affects Shaq probably won't shake or make or break Ben Simmons. So I won't necessarily say that Shaq didn't face hardships in his career. But you saying that you face hardships in your career, you should have that mindset of being a little bit more sympathetic to people that are going through their own individual hardships. Not saying that it's a necessity or you're supposed to do it, but like if you went through it, you should understand it a little bit more and realize some people are not. Some people may not have grown up the same way that you've grown up. So how you handle certain things, they may not be able to handle it the same way. Or they have their own path of how they deal with certain things.
But we also got to remember this is the programming, right? This is where we have to work on deactivating the programming of the generations prior, right? Because again, what was the stigma? Listen, everybody knows that if everybody and people who don't, they're gonna know now. You know, I'm a teacher. I work with middle school age children, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
That's the worst age.
I love it. I love it. But you know, when I talk to parents about, hey, you know, we need to get your child some supports. You know, that means an IEP, right? So most parents automatically go IEP, that means special ed. That means my kid's got a stigma. My kid's going to be stigmatized. My kid is this, my kid is that. Because of the programming of those previous generations of what that meant, right? And we have to help break that down. And Shaq's in a position to help break that down, to help break those stigmas, to help say, listen, no, this isn't the way we handle these things anymore. We handled it a certain way back then, but that doesn't mean we should be handling it this way now. We have to find better ways to handle it because the way we handled it back then was not healthy. And now, Tay, you said we were talking about this in our private chat earlier in the week. The NBA is talking about in the next collective bargaining agreement allowing for 18-year-olds to be able to come into the league again. You really think if we're continuing this idea of toxicity where mental health is not prioritized and making sure that players are in the right spaces, not only physically but mentally, that we're going to have a league that 18-year-olds are going to be able to be successful in?
17 now.
Right, 17, 18-year-olds. Like, come on. I know I have 17-year-olds in the high school connected to the middle school that I teach at. I've had 17-year-olds that you're just like, you are still light years away from any type of adult mindset.
Oh, hell yeah.
And now you want to give these kids millions of dollars and put them in a place where essentially you now have to learn how to grow up and do things on your own, manage on your own, live this life where we have this like lavish lifestyle on top of perpetuating some of the worst stereotypes of what a man should be through hip hop and the real world in the NBA.
You want to hear something funny? It's funny that you say man stereotypes and breaking generation curses, because this is what we about to do right now. Today's topic is something I don't even really want to talk about, because in my mind, black men don't cheat. But
no more.
Oh, let me remove this motherfucker from my screen.
But with that being said, today's topic, we're going to start off with the Boston Celtics suspending their head coach, Ime Udoka, for a year.
The biggest topic of the week.
For an improper relationship.
It even overcame the welfare queen story.
No, hold up, Matt. You didn't lead with the right headline.
Before we even get there, how did this story overtake freaking Brett Favre?
We're getting there.
The welfare queen that Republicans have portrayed black women to be for the past 40 years.
I'm gonna start it. Let me start. Hold up, Pete. Let me start it off. I got a proper answer for that. This is what I'm. Matter of fact, fuck it. We're gonna double whammy.
No, hold up.
Pete, let me double whammy this shit, because I'm feeling some type of way. I might as well just go ahead. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I feel some type of fucking way about this shit. Because for generations, we're not going to pretend like this shit does not happen in other fucking organizations, and you don't even hear about it in the media or in the headlines like you're hearing about it this week. I feel some type of fucking way, and I really feel it has racial bias to it. I feel like this, either you got something that you ain't saying, or you really are just trying to throw this man out in the fucking street and try to downplay everything that you guys are doing. Like Boston ain't fucked up. They're fucked up too. We're not gonna sit here and try to make it seem like what Ime Udoka did was right. It's 100%.
It was disgusting, and
it's
just
disgusting.
Learning more about it. At first I was like, I thought that the punishment could have been a little bit severe, but after learning a little bit more about, how egregious it was, I have to walk back. If you make Matt Barnes walk back his defensive view, you have to be in some serious hot water. And let me tell you something too. I'm gonna be honest with you. And Matt, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I feel like it didn't have to be this messy. But if I'm putting myself in a person's shoes in that organization and you banging my wife, I'm telling everybody.
So there's everyone. Matt, there's two reasons. There's two issues with this. First off, you buried
sexual harassment, and it came with sexual harassment thing too.
Well, there's all of that, but Matt, you.
But then why say consensual? Why say consensual? They've been saying that all week. It was consensual.
You buried the lead, Matt. You buried the lead. The reason why this has dominated the airwaves.
Damn.
The reason why this has been the most talked about story on Black Twitter.
You on Black Twitter?
Of course, man. Of course, there's a Black Twitter. It's the greatest thing.
There's a Black Twitter. I just didn't know you was on it.
Well, dark web, Black Twitter. I'm on a bunch of stuff.
I mean, that's interesting. Go ahead.
Right. You buried the lead line of the story. The lead line of the story is not Celtics suspend coach for a year over affair with employee. No. The headline is dumbass cheated on Nia Long.
I still can't get over that.
That's the headline. That's the story.
I'm not even hit about that.
Well,
I
got
cheated on.
I'm
got cheated on.
I'm still upset about that.
Cheating.
I'm upset about all that.
I'll be honest with you too. cheating has nothing to do with looks.
Oh, this is true. This is true. This is true.
Any man that ever cheated on me never cheated on me with anybody that looked better than me, had more than me.
Why do people do that?
Now, please understand this. So for people who don't know what's been going on.
It's true though.
You know, Udoka.
I never, any of my exes or that never had an upgrade. Now I look like, oh, okay, I see you, sis. Never.
Are we talking about financials or are we talking about body shape?
We talking about everything. We talking about 360.
You talking about the total package.
We talking about body, mind, and soul.
Right. So here's the thing. Right?
Body, mind, and soul. I just can't wrap my head around it.
For people who don't know,
total package. Right? I'm Lex Luger out this bitch. That's what she basically said.
Nia Long and Ime Udoka have been dating since 2010, so 12 years.
Lucky bastard.
They got engaged. Mind you, they are engaged in 2015, and they have a 10-year-old son.
I don't think they had that anymore.
Another thing that came out is that Nia Long was blindsided. Okay, because hold on, Udoka kept her in the dark about the affair, even though the team had already busted him months ago. Apparently, the team busted him back in late June, early July. Yeah. And that's when they started the investigation.
And he continued with it.
And Nia Long did not know about it literally until the story broke into the public stratosphere. So he kept her in the dark even as they were investigating him. Now, the second reason why this is a major thing, right? And Tavia was talking about this. And this goes back to what we brought up about Boston all the time. We talked about this when Bill Russell passed away. We talked about Boston being the last bastion of the white city, right? The white Northeast city, like the great white hope of Boston.
The only,
right?
Don't say the all. It's the only.
Right?
100% the only.
Now, here's what happened. You have a black head coach who made a white man into a cuck. That's what happened. And the white man was just like, I cannot take this. I cannot stand for this. We must suspend the coach. And again, okay, it does not help that he is a black man. It also does not help that, by the way, everybody on Twitter and social media, the very innocent woman whose pictures you have been circulating on social media is not the woman, right? So can we please stop? Can we please?
The black girl, right?
Right, that is not the woman, right? So can we please stop ruining this young lady's life, right? Secondly, you out here, look, let's just say what it is. You had some white woman who was just like, my old white husband don't do it for me. The coach is fine. I'm going to go over here and get me some.
You got to relax.
I'm going to go over here and get me some. And she was getting double D'd down.
Oh, my God.
She was getting double D'd down with the full court press.
This is the second week in a row we're talking about dicks now. This is getting uncomfortable.
She was getting double D'd down in Celtics green on the full court press.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And all of a sudden, old white husband found out, and he was just like, oh, I cannot have this. I cannot have my wife publicly embarrassing me by sleeping with the coach.
Tell you like the Shakespeare voice that he's got going on? Yeah. Go ahead.
It cannot happen. So let me go to my white owner and my white GM, and let's launch an investigation. Because I bet you it was not proposed as this. Listen, my wife is cheating on me with the coach. The coach is fucking around with my wife.
I mean, Pete, I like it when you
Both
get off.
People in this situation are complicit. Both
100%.
people are complicit. At
100%.
The end of the day, and every company has an HR policy. Okay. Every company has an HR policy that you are not allowed to be in a relationship, okay, with someone who is either your boss or your underling.
I don't think you got the update.
Oh, okay.
I was getting into that. There's more to it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's more to that. What made them suspend him was that he was sexually harassed. He basically harassed this girl into getting into a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Okay? Sexual harassment, and made unwanted comments towards this woman, right? And created a hostile work environment for other employees. So now, why you can't fire him right now is because the investigation has to completely unfold. And then there's other employees and other implications, but it was more than one woman. It was a few women. Let's be real. It's been a cycle of behavior.
So he was slanging.
He was slinging.
Boy, he was slinging dick all through them Boston streets. It wasn't even crazy. But my thing about it is, like I said, from my initial outburst from it is, again, this is a generational thing. This happens in a lot of companies and organizations, and they keep it in house. For some reason,
He certainly
this wasn't kept in house. They blew this shit up. This became the talk of the week. And again, poor Nia Long, poor that lady that Black Twitter blasted, and she wasn't even the woman that apparently was the victim in all of this. Well, not really the victim if it's consensual. Part of it was consensual, from what I heard. My whole thing is, what I didn't like is, I don't know if any of y'all saw the press conference from the Boston Celtics with Brad Stevens and the other guy, I forgot his name, but basically they just suspended him for a year. I think they took like a great portion of his salary. And again, they haven't fired him. They haven't even made that decision to fire him.
The only reason they haven't fired him is they don't want another team to pick him up.
So let's trash his name for a good year, so then that his career is over.
Right.
You know
because since they reported it as a consensual relationship, and all the reports that have come out have said that it was a consensual relationship with a team employee. Yeah. If they fire him, another team may be like, listen, we could revitalize this man's career. This man just took a Boston Celtics team that shouldn't have been in the playoffs all the way to the NBA Finals. We want him on our team. And that's what the Boston Celtics don't want. The Boston Celtics, the only reason they suspended him, by the way, the longest suspension ever for a sitting head coach, okay, is because they don't want another team to hire him. That's why.
I don't think so. I don't think the investigation's over yet. And I think that I don't think he should get hired again. This is crazy. To me, it's not okay. At first, I was on the whole wave with everyone else. I even went so far as saying, I'm very pro-woman, very anti all that stuff, right? And for me to backtrack and be like, look, first of all, like, I mind my business, right? Like, what goes on in your relationship, what goes on in your that's your business. If Nia wants to forgive him and also, that's her business, right? But this shows an abuse of power in a way, and abuse of resources as well.
I mean, my whole thing is, we can go back and forth with a lot of things that went wrong with this situation. Like I said, I don't like the fact that it got released the way that it got released. He's being suspended pending of whether or not he even returns as a coach. You said consensual, but then now you're hearing reports that it's sexual harassment. It's either which one is the real story.
It could be both.
It could be both, but again, the fact that it's so granular and you don't really know what really happened, don't you think all the ducks in the row of the facts should have been put together before a lot of this shit happened?
We knew about that. They knew about this since June.
They knew about it since June, but then you're saying consensual and then you're saying harassment.
Hold on. I feel like, all right, if they told him he was under investigation since June, that means they found out stuff since during the NBA season last season.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason why it got leaked is because it has a domino effect on more than one person. I don't think if it was one affair, it would have made
Nah,
it.
I'm pretty sure there's more. I'm not gonna hold you.
There's several more, and you know
There's
more
more.
people gonna come out the woodwork.
Yeah,
But
but
You
by
know,
the way, let's just say it on the public platform. Neil Long, call Matt.
please do.
Call BK Pat Neil Long. Neil Long.
I'm
He
just-
will.
I'm
Listen,
just-
BK Matt will show you a romantic and great time.
I love Nina from Love Jones. You don't even know. I still watch that movie.
I loved it from Big Mama.
Boy, Sherry. Woo, woo. Just
they
saying.
got Boys in the Hood.
Oh, of course.
Cuba Gooding Jr. kind of messed that up for me. He made it
People
undesirable.
getting
That's
Junior
just me.
messes up a lot of things for a lot of people.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk a little baseball. Albert Pujols with his 700. Pete, how you
I'm
feeling?
gonna let Aaron Judge finish the season, but this the man right here. There's only been 3 players previously in Major League Baseball history to hit more than 700 home runs. Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron.
Wait, you count Barry Bonds? Because you know
He
you're
did
a
hit
baseball
more
purist.
than 700.
But you're a baseball purist.
He hit
So
more
you
than
counting it? But you counting it is what you're
I
telling
counted
me.
it.
Oh, okay. Tay, mark this shit down.
The
He counts
record
it.
to me is 70. The record to me is Barry
Mark it
Bonds'
down.
record. No.
Okay.
Here's my
All
thing. Listen,
Don't switch up.
Listen, no, I'm gonna say it straight up. I do not hold, okay. We do not know how many of the players in Major League Baseball were on steroids and who wasn't. We only know the ones that were caught or the ones who admitted to it, right? And the only reason why the MLB decided to make a big thing about it is because people started asking questions. Well, wait a minute. Why is he hitting 73 when everybody was never hitting more than 60? Why are these numbers going up, right? And so the MLB decided it wanted to clean house. But the MLB wouldn't have cleaned house if there weren't questions. They were loving the ratings. They were loving the record attendance. They were loving the record revenues. They were loving all of it.
The money.
Okay.
No. Say the money.
Yeah,
the popularity, the money.
And at the end of the day, one of the most shared clips, okay, and one of the greatest at-bats you'll ever see is Eric Gagne, okay, Cy Young winning relief pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who we found out ended up being on steroids, against Barry Bonds in San Francisco. And it was great at-bats. We don't know who was and who wasn't. There may be people who we will never know may have been, but just flew under the radar for a lot of time. So yes, Barry Bonds did steroids. Should he have done it? No. Was he a Hall of Famer without them? Of course. But the record is what the record is. If you want to put an asterisk next to it, go right ahead. But at the end of the day, let my man Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Stop bullshitting. Anyway, Albert Pujols had 2 home runs last night, Friday night, September 23rd, against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Home runs number 699 and 700 to become only the 4th man in the history of baseball to hit 700 home runs. He likely has a couple more games to likely add to that total. You know, there's obviously, you know, he won't pass Ruth. You know, he won't pass Ruth. Ruth, I believe, has 714. Yeah, 714. Barry has 762. Aaron has 755. Ruth has 714. And now Pujols at 700. Alex Rodriguez had 696. The next active player on the list is all the way back at 506. And that's Miguel Cabrera, who's likely going to retire either this year or next year.
Did he freeze? He froze. It's that Bronx. That's that Bronx Wi-Fi, I swear.
175 home runs. You know, so, you know, to see Albert Pujols do this, to break 700 home runs, you know, like I have seen Pujols' entire career. And I was so happy that he did it in a Cardinals uniform. Because a lot of people may remember that Pujols spent the last couple of years in his career as a member of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim after leaving St. Louis. I'm really, really glad that he was able to go back to St. Louis to finish his career, and he was able to reach this milestone in a St. Louis Cardinals jersey. We have legitimately watched history. We didn't get to watch Babe Ruth. Our generation didn't watch Aaron. We did watch Bonds, but a lot of us did not see the early ages of Bonds. Right, we saw the later ages of Bonds.
Yeah, that's true.
In San Francisco, and he was really mashing home runs. There are not a lot of people, okay, our age, that can talk about Barry Bonds as a Pittsburgh Pirate. You know, that they saw that. You know, we saw every year of Pujols' career. I would love to see him get at least maybe 705. But
this is last year, right?
What?
This is last year, right?
Yeah, he's already said that he will be retiring at the end of this year. And it came out today. He is going to let the fan who caught the 700th home run ball keep the 700th home run ball. His quote was, "Souvenirs are for fans."
That's dope. I love that. That's dope.
You know, the 700. So this man is a bona fide Hall of Famer. You know, legitimately, this is not one of those guys where like you watch his career and then he makes the Hall of Fame and you're like, oh yeah, he did have a great career. Like there is no doubt Albert Pujols is a Hall of Famer, and we have gotten to watch that entire 20-year career. I
hope you feel the same way if he announces that he was on steroids. You know,
I mean, listen, Pujols, for what we know, the reason why Pujols gets a lot of celebration is the fact because he is the one person that we kind of like have absolutely no evidence that he's ever done it on not clean.
Before we move on to the next topic, I want to ask you guys, does Aaron Judge, does he stay a Yankee or does he move on?
No, they spoiled that.
And if he moves on, what team would you like to see him on?
The Boston Red Sox.
I know Pete wants to see him as a Met.
No, listen, you know what? If he's gonna it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be terrible. But yeah, if I want it, listen, there's two places. If he leaves, which I hope he doesn't, I really hope the Yankees put the full court press on this. They're gonna have to pay him, and they're gonna have to pay the premium. They're not paying just the top. In the words of Fat Joe, yesterday's price is not today's price for Aaron Judge.
I want $300 million.
And
I hope he goes to the Mets. I hope he goes to the Mets.
Yeah. If he's going to go anywhere, I would like for him to either go to the Mets or go home to San Francisco. He's a California kid. He grew up a Giants fan. So if you're going to go to San Francisco, go home. I can't blame you for that.
Fuck that. Get that money, bro.
That
$300 million. Get that money. Don't be stupid. Get the money.
Listen,
the Yankees and the Mets are the only one that's going to give him the money that he
San
wants.
Francisco Giants could pay him. The Giants could pay him. Listen, every team has the ability, just about every team has the ability to put one of those contracts on their payroll. The question is if the owner wants to do it. I think the only teams that really don't have the financial resources to do it are like the Athletics, the Twins, the Kansas City Royals, those really small market teams. I am holding out hope that Aaron Judge stays a Yankee. I think the bigger question is whether or not he's going to break this record, because he's been pressing the last couple of games since he made it to 60. He's been pressing, and then they're walking him. So, it's going to be very intriguing to see if he actually does break the record. And I'd like for him to do it at Yankee Stadium, which would be great. But
the Yankees played themselves with Aaron Judge.
It's not the first time they did some stupid shit like that. They love ruining relationships.
Listen, they tried to do it with Jeter. They got lucky to re-sign Jeter.
They did it with Bernie.
Did it with Bernie Williams.
You knew that.
They almost lost Bernie. So a lot.
They underpaid Bernie. That's my opinion, but we're not going.
Oh no, they tried to underpay Bernie, and then the Red Sox had made them have a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
And then they paid that man.
Yeah. But hopefully Aaron Judge stays in the Yankee uniform.
I'm just telling you right now, if anybody knows where I can get an official Albert Pujols St. Louis Cardinals jersey, I need one. I need one of those.
Bro, Google works. But with that being said, the Monday night extravaganza will be Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants.
I'm looking forward to that game.
I am too, but I'm more so looking forward to what Micah Parsons is going to do now that he's been low-key kind of called out and been made aware of to Lawerence Taylor, because there's been a lot of comparisons as far as Micah Parsons being the second coming of Lawerence Taylor. Lawerence Taylor has gone on record and says, I have not seen him, but I will be at the game, and he has to show me who he really is. And if he is what they say he is, I will gladly let him know that you are that guy. So with that being said, I'm asking the question to the table. Is Micah Parsons the next Lawrence Taylor?
I think we need time. I think we need a little bit more time to say that. He's also on the Cowboys, so there's that. I think he's a really, really good player, and he can be in that same level where like what is his name, Khalil Mack is, where possibly a Ray Lewis is, but he still needs to prove himself, and he needs to do this just not on the Cowboys for me to think that he is close to Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor is a generational talent. And here's the thing. Micah Parsons does he have the athletic ability to do what Lawrence Taylor did in his heyday? Of course. NFL players today are bigger, faster, stronger. It is what it is. But Micah Parsons can never, ever be the next Lawrence Taylor. You know why?
Let's hear it.
One simple reason.
Crack.
He ain't doing it on crack. He's not doing it on crack. That's right. If Micah Parsons was doing this while high on crack,
Yo.
talk to me then, brother.
Y'all not fitting to play my boy LT.
Yo.
Talk to me then.
Y'all not fitting
That's
to play
what
my
I was. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking,
Yo.
well, we can't do it because he don't be doing crack. So I'm
Right.
Yo.
LT did
Y'all
it
gotta
while high on
relax.
crack. Do you know how hard it is
This makes
to
him
play
the superior,
sports
this
on
makes him
crack?
the superior athlete.
You gotta relax. Y'all all gotta. Y'all
And
are
the
wrong
crack.
for this.
And
I
the
can't
crack.
believe. I'm done. I don't even got nothing to say after that. Y'all.
The fact
wow.
that he was able to do all that on drugs and alcohol, that speaks to his superhuman ability.
Yo, I forgot all about that shit.
That's Hall of Fame worthy right there. For you to be able to do all of that and be on crack, man, like
Listen,
you deserve to be
there's
a Hall
only
of Fame.
one thing.
Oh
There's
my
only
God,
one thing.
Joe.
There's
Oh
only
my
one
God.
thing in the history of sports. There's only one thing in the history of sports that is better than what Lawrence Taylor did in his career while high on crack. There's
Oh
only
my God.
one thing better, and that is in 1970 when
Yo.
Doc Ellis, pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, pitched a perfect damn game while high on LSD.
Oh my God.
Do you know how hard it is to do anything on LSD?
We ain't never gonna have people.
No,
on this,
Peter,
bro.
tell us.
Okay.
We ain't never gonna- Yo.
A man pitched a perfect game while high on LSD. That is
Oh my God.
the only thing that is greater than Lawrence Taylor's career while high on crack.
Oh my God,
What's Lawrence
Joe.
Taylor on crack or coke?
Oh my God.
Aren't they the same thing? They're just variants of the same thing.
They're not
variants of
really
the
the same. I
They're
mean,
variants of the same thing.
They're variants of the
yeah,
same thing.
but
Oh
coke
my
is pure. Crack
God.
is freebase.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Joe. We ain't never gonna have
I mean,
people-
listen, Lawrence Taylor, okay,
I like raps.
Oh my God. Between Tavia calling fucking Kevin Durant a peasy head person to me wanting to piss on James Dolan desk. Oh my
I never
God.
said that about Kevin Durant.
Oh my God, Joe. We are never gonna have people.
listen, understand something. Lawrence Taylor ended up doing what he did with crack and becoming Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor could have very easily have been the Pookie of the NFL.
You gotta relax.
Okay, this man could have been like Chris Rock in New Jack City. Okay, like this. Okay, while playing football. No, this man went on to have a Hall of Fame career while high on crack.
Did we take points off because it wasn't his whole career?
Oh my God, Joe.
Oh, the only reason why I take points off is
I
because
don't.
people also forget. People also do forget. Now, here's where I will give Micah Parsons a little bit of an edge over Lawrence Taylor.
What? You know,
One thing. Time out, Tay. Hear me out.
he's not gonna get no Super Bowl ring.
No. Hear me out for a second, Tay. The
Right.
one thing that I will give Micah Parsons a little bit of an edge over Lawrence Taylor. Micah Parsons has nobody else on that defense. Lawrence Taylor had some fantastic Hall of Fame caliber teammates on those Giants defenses that allowed for him that made his job a little bit easier, just a little bit. Micah Parsons is doing this with nobody else.
Oh,
So
shut up.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
You tell me who on the Dallas Cowboys defense is Harry Carson. Who's the Harry Carson on that defense? Nobody.
I'm sorry, history book. I didn't know who Harry Carson was.
Wow.
I wasn't a Giants fan.
First of all,
that's trash.
I said history book. I
Micah Parsons will never be NFL MVP. I'm sorry. I don't see that happening.
I don't see it either, but
I don't see him being a Super Bowl champion under the Dallas Cowboys banner. I think he picked the wrong team. Oh, the wrong team picked him. I don't know.
He was part of that. He was part of that, the Crunch Bunch.
I don't know, y'all.
Lawerence Taylor was part of
the music because y'all shitting on Lawerence Taylor and I ain't with it. Bye.
No, he's not. We're not. I'm just saying. Let's
y'all the one that started with
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait. Why my picture ain't up there? Why my picture ain't up there, Dre? I'm feeling some type of goddamn way, Dre.
Oh, we're gonna get into that. Why would your picture be up there? You didn't win.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Also, hold on. Can we just say something real quick though, Tay?
I didn't do that. Yeah.
Tay, can we say something real quick though? Does anybody remember who was the defensive coordinator during Lawerence Taylor's incredible run on the Giants defense?
Who, Pete?
Tell us, Pete. Goddamn, tell us.
Bill Belichick.
Who? Bill Belichick.
I fucking got that right.
Bill Belichick.
Right?
Bill Belichick was the defensive.
All right, but look at it. When has Bill Belichick been able to do these?
It was Bill Belichick all along. He made Lawerence Taylor's career. He made Tom Brady's career.
Taylor made Lawerence Taylor. Tom Brady made Tom Brady.
I wouldn't go that far.
Crack made Lawerence Taylor.
Tom Brady won a Super. Let me tell you something. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl.
Look at that damn roster, Tavia. Come on.
That roster was not that impressive.
That roster was stacked.
They were not that impressive. They were not that impressive.
You got
their best roster was when they had Randy Moss in the team. The very best roster.
The Buccaneers. That's what we're talking about.
But that even at who did they beat again?
They beat fucking Patrick Mahomes.
The Patrick Mahomes Chiefs, by all design, were a better team than the Buccaneers that beat them.
Yeah, but that defense was trash. I mean,
the Buccaneers, the the Chiefs were a better team.
The Chiefs' offensive line was trash.
The offensive line was
and they still won a Super Bowl with that offensive line the year before. So
listen, Belichick has been blessed. I mean, again, he was a
I
defense.
hate when y'all say somebody made somebody else's career.
But I was just joking around. But also, I think this does lend credence to the fact that Bill Belichick has been blessed in his career because you are the defensive coordinator of what is considered to be one of the greatest defensive linebacking corps in history. With the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, the Giants defense of the 80s. So you were the defensive coordinator of 4 future Hall of Fame linebackers on that team. And then you end up in New England with what ends up being the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. Like, yeah, Belichick. And the thing is, Belichick has shit the bed in other situations when he was in Cleveland and things like that. But
in New England,
he has been put into some great situations in his career. But going into pick 5.
Before you go into pick 5, I just want to take this time to say thank you, Larry. Larry's proud of me right now. I got that one trivia question right. It would have been better if you would have used that in our trivia game like 2 years ago instead of the Jack Tunney shit. But that's neither here nor there.
You need to stop disrespecting Jack Tunney.
Fuck Jack Tunney. That's what I got to say about Jack.
Wow, terrible.
We need to stop talking about Jack Tunney because it's over. Like it's done.
I got
keep bringing him up.
I don't care. I would have been 2 years in a row. I would be a champion right now, and I got screwed. Who the hell remembers Jack Tunney, Tay? Nobody. Coliseum
Home Video does.
Ooh. Go to the gym, pick 5.
I don't like your aggressiveness. It was a bit too aggressive about the Jack Tunney.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, pick 5 week
I
2.
don't care who wins. I just hope you lose.
This is true.
Ooh.
Pick 5 last week was a little
We
rough.
talking about Peter, right? Or we
I'm
talking about Matt?
No, we're talking about Matt.
Why
You
can't
have
I
nail
win?
polish remover? You have nail polish?
It's because I'm predominantly a basketball fan. That's what this is about.
Hold on. Let's get to the pick 5. Let's get to the pick 5. Last week, pick 5 was a little bad for all of us.
He's just happy because he's in the lead. That's what this is about.
Well, no, pick 5 was bad across the board for all of us. Tay, Matt, and Dre all went 1 and 4. I didn't do much better, 2 and 3. It was a terrible week for all of us in pick 5 across the board. Overall standings at the end of 2 weeks, I am at the top at 6 and 4. Tay at 3 and 7. Dre and Matt at 2 and 8 after 2 weeks. So let us get into. Give me 1 second while I pull up the games. Anybody have the games right in front of them? I got to pull them up on my phone.
For this week?
You should have them pulled up, sir. You have them pulled up.
I know.
You talking about this week?
Yes, sir. This week.
Bills and Dolphins.
Okay, let's start there with the Bills and the Dolphins.
This is easy.
I mean, you said that.
It's not that easy. Tua is playing
about the Ravens. You said that about the Ravens and Dolphins.
Goddamn game. Y'all got to relax. Like, granted, I got to eat my words for what I said last week, but it's still one goddamn game.
Tua had 6 touchdowns. 4 in the fourth quarter. And you said it was easy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bills and Dolphins.
He's doing that on the Bills defense?
Who do you got?
He's doing that on the Bills defense.
Well, they just lost Micah Hyde for the year.
I'm picking the Bills. Tua and Josh Allen.
Taking the Bills.
Tua is not Josh Allen.
Who are you taking, Peter?
I am also taking the Bills.
Yeah.
So it was easy.
Bills.
It's going to be hard for me to go. Let me tell you something. It's going to be hard for me to go against the Bills at all this season.
Same here.
For real.
Same here.
I just can't deny that. I think Tua's rating over the past 2 weeks is only seconded to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So we just can't just act like Tua was a flash pan, a flash in the pan.
Kyler Murray was looking like an MVP the first 4 games of the season last year. Look at him.
I don't even know who that is.
And that's actually the only
oops. Right.
Yeah, that's actually the only early game that we're picking, though. I think one of the best games that's going to happen on the 1 o'clock slate is going to be Detroit and Minnesota. I think that's going to be a sleeper, really good game.
So who you think is going to win?
But we're not picking that game. I'm just saying, I think that's going to be a really good game on the 1 o'clock slate. If you ask me, I'm probably going to pick that game.
I'm tired, yo. I'm at my door since like this morning.
Oh shit!
Let's get to the afternoon game. The later afternoon game.
Funny as hell.
That we are picking the late afternoon. Let's go with the defending champion Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals.
I got the Rams.
I don't even want to choose them, but I have to.
I got the Cardinals. I got the
Cardinals. Matt?
I got the Rams, even though the Cardinals pissed me off last week. But
yeah, and that's what makes it tough for me. I'm gonna, I want to take the Cardinals because I think they're a better team, but they are starting notoriously slow in these games, and Murray's having to come back all the time. I'm gonna pick the Rams, but I honestly think the Rams are not looking as good as they did last year.
They're not. Not at all.
At all. Let's go to our next afternoon game. We have the 4:25 game between the Green Bay Packers going to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers.
I'm picking Psycho Tom.
I'm also picking the Bucs. I'm sorry. Listen, I was going to pick Green Bay initially. I really was going to pick Green Bay. But now Green Bay just lost the only receiver that they had. Sammy Watkins is now on the injured reserve.
Shit. I was gonna go Green Bay too, believe it or not.
Ain't Randall Cobb ain't the rest of them.
Randall Cobb. I think he's questionable. He wasn't listed officially as out.
Now
their running game showed out last week.
Yeah, they did.
Matter of fact, no. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Wait, you picking against yo man?
I can explain why. Because though Tampa Bay's offense has been pedestrian, that defense has stepped up and bailed Tom Brady out of a lot of these games. So I mean, yeah.
Brady hasn't looked great. Brady is not looking great.
So I expect Tampa Bay's defense to put a stranglehold on Green Bay's offense, which also has been ridiculously bad, dropping fucking passes and shit, forgetting their routes and everything. But again, like I said, I expect Tampa Bay's defense to be the winners of this whole game. So yeah, I'm going with Tampa Bay.
Well, maybe if Aaron Rodgers came to played in the preseason, he'll know about his receivers.
He was too good for it.
I like how y'all always try to blame Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, you know, let's say something. Tom Brady is risking his marriage just to play in the NFL.
Says a lot about his stupid ass. So like, what the
I
fuck?
don't care about shit. You don't put no ultimatums on me. You put an ultimatum on me, I'm doing exactly what you told me not to do.
All right, Tay, but my whole thing is, do you need to play this season?
Yes.
With your career being the way that it is, did you need to play this season?
Yes.
Why? What do you need?
Let me tell you something. I understand it because I have that level of tenacity. And I get it. You get what I'm saying? Like, what more do you have to prove? Like, I don't have to prove nothing to none of y'all motherfuckers. I got to prove it to myself.
I hear you.
Marianne, give me the damn nail polish. Like,
I think Matt has a point. I don't think Tom needed to play this season. I think he wanted to. I also wonder if there may be some issues going on that we don't know about to why he just felt like being at home wasn't. I think maybe some of these issues between him and Giselle may go deeper than we know. I don't know. I don't
think so. I think when you're not ready, you're not ready. When you're really not ready, maybe when he retired, he didn't feel like it was ready.
Was he so depressed that he didn't win the Super Bowl? Like, does he have to go out on a Super Bowl victory?
Yes.
I don't know. Like, go to
not everybody could be John Elway.
Everybody picked everybody picked.
No, I need
the Bucks.
Tay's picking Tampa Bay as well. All right, let's go to our next game, the final game. The evening game, the final Sunday game. San Francisco and Jimmy G.
He gave him a much needed charge. I mean, this guy, the locker room is really pulling from him.
But Trey Lance is bum. He is ass.
He got hurt, Pete.
He's ass.
He got hurt. What is wrong with you?
He is ass personified.
You just jumping from quarterback to trash. You went from Mitchell Trubisky to who, by the way, you're right. Mitchell Trubisky's a bum. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
There's nothing I can say about that.
Exactly.
Oh, bum.
God.
Remember I said it during the game? I said, Pete.
Oh my God.
He's really a bum.
How did we get off? I'm sorry. How did we get off Aaron Rodgers not connecting with his damn teammates?
Yeah, because Matt don't want to.
Trubisky can't connect either on the pass. That's why. But that's the correlation.
Aaron, at least I said Tom Brady risked his marriage to go to preseason.
It'll not come. I know it's coming.
Listen,
and Aaron Rodgers didn't even call his parents for
what?
Listen, fucking coming. I knew it.
Trubisky's trash.
He's getting high in the forest.
Trubisky's trash.
I heard that interview too. I was like, what is he doing, bro?
He gets high in the forest somewhere and don't take a shower like 4 days.
It was on the Pat McAfee show. Yeah, I heard it. I was like, what is he doing?
He don't like he get high in the forest and don't shower for like 3 days. It reminds me of one time way back in the days. I'm not gonna say what I did, but I woke up next to a guy. It wasn't sexual or anything like that, but I woke up next to a guy who was musty. And I was like, that's the last time I'm going to do X. Not ecstasy, but weed.
I was about to say.
Weed.
I was about to say, what?
Yo, if somebody call Ebro and see if they got an open spot on the panel. Ebro!
Oh man, I was about to say. So we got to have some talks after the show, huh?
Yo, listen,
what the
like
that about?
I feel like my face was a living Charlemagne meme for a minute when she was telling that story.
I wasn't even looking. I was painting my nails.
It was just like
I woke up next to this guy,
I don't even know how we got here.
and he was because I was thinking about Aaron Rodgers doing psychedelics in the forest and not taking showers and just sitting there and just sweating all the weed and LSD out of his pores, fam. And I don't care. No one could tell me anything different.
Why do white people have an aversion to soap? They don't like to wash their hands. They don't like to wash their ass.
Their legs.
They out here giving their children baths every. Well, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis came out and said they only give their children a bath every once a week
when they have to.
Yeah, like
do y'all wonder why y'all kids be loving the nanny, the black nanny, because she wash your kids every day. They like
right.
Bath time.
She wash your kids and mammy rubs. You listen.
Please go to the next year before we get canceled.
San Francisco and Jimmy G go into the high altitude of Denver to take on Russell Wilson and the underwhelming Denver Broncos.
Well, San Francisco.
I'm going Denver.
San Francisco. Dre is taking the Broncos.
Matter of fact, let me sleep on that. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Yeah, because I'm feeling that the Broncos might pull that one out.
Yeah.
I am actually going to take. I'm gonna put some faith in it, but this is going to be that last time. I don't know what's going on in Denver right now. Why that team is starting so slow and underwhelming.
The coach is new.
I'm gonna take Denver simply because I think this team either is going to have to turn it on, or this is just going to be a lost cause for them. This has to be the game, especially at home in Denver. You got San Francisco coming to the high altitude. That defense is really going to rush Jimmy G, so it's going to be very interesting to see. You know, I know George Kittle is back this week. So I'm going to take Denver, but I easily could see this being an L and San Francisco taking this win.
Dre, who you picked, Dre?
He picked Denver.
We all picked Denver.
Oh, me.
Oh, you and Matt said you wanted to sleep on it.
No,
Yeah.
I said Denver. I said Broncos.
Okay. You got Denver.
I'm going to sleep on it.
All right. And our final game this week
Why are we doing Giants Cowboys?
is the Monday night game. Giants versus the Cooper Rush-led Cowboys.
He actually did good.
He did do very well. That's why everybody started asking the question of whether or not Dak's still going to be the starter when he come back.
They paid that man too much money to bench him. I'm sorry. He's playing. I don't even know why y'all even questioning that shit. He heisted Jerry Jones. That nigga's playing.
No, he didn't. You know he had to go. You know he had to go through to get that bread.
Yeah, that's
He had to fight for that bread.
He had to fight for that bread.
He deserved every dollar because you paid Ezekiel, Mr. Crop Top Elliott over here, who ain't done shit
in years.
Stop hating on my man's crop top.
Okay.
That's a statement.
But you would.
I imagine that's how I look in the crop top, just like how Ezekiel Elliott looks in the crop top.
I believe in. Yeah, I think I'm done.
My only issue with it is like you gave Ezekiel Elliott this money with no problems, but you gave Dak all this fucking heartache just to get his money. That's the problem to me.
I'm going with the Giants. And with that being said, I have to jump y'all.
I actually am taking the Giants as well. This may be the week that they come back to earth, but I am taking the Giants.
I think this is the week they come back to earth too, Pete. But you know what?
I feel that too.
I feel this may be the week. They've been looking a little bit too good.
Right.
They haven't looked this good in years.
We know.
But
I think Saquon is better than Ezekiel Elliott. I think Saquon is better.
That's obvious. That's obvious. You just all the damn time.
I think the Giants are really motivated to play for Brian Daboll, which is a really big thing. And I don't know if Cooper Rush can do it 2 weeks in a row. That's my big thing. That's why I'm picking the Giants.
Yeah, but I don't think Daniel Jones could do it for 3 weeks in a row.
Or the whole season. Or the whole season for that matter.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the Giants too.
Thank you so much.
Wait, who's Dre taking?
He's taking the Giants.
He said the Giants.
Yeah, you know we got to ask me that. Why am I taking the Cowboys? Ew.
It's like yucky.
Bro, it's Cooper Rush. I don't have no faith in Cooper Rush. Granted, he played great. Well,
Bye,
not great. He
guys.
played okay.
Love you.
Later.
See you later.
Later. Have a good night on your thing.
And never forget, Brett Favre tried to steal welfare money.
He's a welfare queen. The welfare poster child.
He's trying to steal welfare money to build a volleyball court.
But yeah.
And on that, ladies and gentlemen, unlike Andre Iguodala coming back for a 19th season.
That was announced.
He came back and said he's coming back for the 19th season with the Warriors.
Oh, well, that's dope.
You know.
Udonis Haslam. That's awesome.
But no, he plays better than Udonis Haslam.
That's a fact. And more minutes.
Yeah. I would trust Andre Iguodala to spot start before I trust Udonis Haslam to spot start.
I thought you was about to say some Max Kellerman shit, because then I'm like, all right, we got to wrap this shit up.
No.
But
you have to wrap this shit up.
Yeah, we definitely got to wrap this shit up. Pete, you want to be honest?
So unlike Andre Iguodala, we will not be coming back for an extra 10 minutes right now. We are out of here. Thank you to everybody on the Jabba Network, all the shows, the Jabba podcast, 2.5 Bros, Sasson Talk, everything. We thank y'all all for tuning in to the Yerrr Sports Show for the Queen Tay, for the soul of R&B, Big Baby. For Matt, and for myself, the voice of Generation Pete Rosado. We will see you next week right here on the Yerrr Sports Show.
Peace.